Right, guys, so we're here at the Scapegoat podcast number 3. So far, they're going pretty well. This time around, we've got Stu Gordon, Wall of Sound, Girija, all these fun things. Curious Castaway Mike, still here, still kicking it. And then we got James down the end, City of Disfasar, guitarist, all that lot. So, same as usual, we're just going to go and prattle on about some shit that's been going on. There's been lots of shit that's been happening.
Yep.
We were just discussing the fact that Unearth are playing in Summer Hall on August, I think it's 22nd.
Yeah.
And by God, I am fucking rigid at the fact that that's happening. I got to see him last time at the Caves, and it was just him. Just Dylan Carlson that was there playing. And it was like, while listening to a lot of the other albums, I had a pre-expectation of what I was walking into. And there was like Dylan Carlson on his Les Paul, and then there was like a kind of weird percussionist, a harp player, and a clarinet player. It was like, right, I have no idea what tonight's going to hold then.
Yeah.
It was just like,
surprise me.
Surprise me, yeah, okay.
What you got?
But it was one of the first like proper, or like, if you want to call it ambient noise, ambient massive sound gigs that I've been to. And it was very bizarre because a lot of the other gigs I've been to have been quite rowdy, and that was the first one where it was a packed house, but everyone like had their eyes shut.
Yeah, just wigging out like.
Yeah, it was
totally
just insane, man.
Enjoying it.
But yeah, like Nicholas Hurd's doing a good one with that with Bro Gigs, so that everyone needs to.
Yeah, Nick puts on loads of cool gigs, man.
Yeah, and he also told me to right the wrong of saying that there's not a noise scene. If you want a noise scene, go speak to Nicholas Hurd. It might just be him.
Yeah.
But that's the noise scene.
Well, there's a scene. At least someone responded to that as opposed to
Shit,
no
man,
one.
he did as well. He was just like, hey!
No, it is.
Right this wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, alright, okay.
So there is no...
Well, there is, as I say, there is a noise scene, but most of the musicians, quote unquote, that play it are probably outsiders coming in, and then like, hey.
That's interesting.
But yeah, I don't think there's very many noise acts, noise musicians that are up here in Edinburgh. There's a few in Glasgow and there's a few down south, but not to my knowledge anyway.
Well, there's a market that's ripe for the picking.
Yeah,
Anybody wants to
exactly.
start a noise group?
Yeah, just make it fucking aggro and it should be fine.
Call me.
Yeah, you just want to make anything.
I just want to make
hard.
noise, just sounds, frequencies. Let's just fucking twiddle
That is
knobs.
literally your term. There's frequencies.
Yeah, I like frequencies.
It's very out there.
Yeah. What do you play? Frequencies, man.
Welcome to the scary door.
I like that stuff.
But yeah, you were playing a gig the other week.
I played a gig on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was dead good fun.
Dead good fun, pal.
I was.
Did you even practice before? Or
We did. We had one. We had one practice, which was
Classic.
the first practice in a year.
And when was the last time that you played?
Over a year ago.
No, maybe like 9 months.
All right, okay.
I think the last gig was in July, which we didn't practice for. And then we practiced this one, and we played this one.
And the folk that don't know, this
And
is
it was-
Girija fame.
Yeah, and it was really good fun. We were playing with a band of friends called Death Bell, who are fucking ace. They're really, really good. Just like kind of atmospheric doom, keys, kind of ethereal vocals, and just good.
I
Nice.
saw some
Yeah.
pictures with candles and incense or something going on as well.
Yeah,
That
there was all that,
All the
that
spooky-
setting the
all
scene.
that spooky shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good though, man. It was really good fun. Before that, we had Juniper Grave, who are awesome as
they're
always.
always good.
They
Blown
were
away
really,
by
really good. And their new song, I can't remember the name of it, but they played a new tune, which was quality.
Nice.
Like, kind of quite upbeat, I thought, for them, but it was really good fun.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. We played, and I mean, we were just Girija, as we always are. Kind of fairly
Good fun, drinking and
fairly
driving.
good fun, half-assed, not really give a fuck, kind of stoner rock vibes.
Yeah, it's good crack.
And then we had a band from Durham called Star Cult, who were kind of fine.
Yeah. Well, they like young guys just up and coming sort of dealio.
Yeah, youngish, kind of 70s rock vibes, with a potentially ill-advised cover of Silver Machine.
Ouch.
But we'll not go too far.
We
into
won't
that.
go down that road. But yeah, to pull it back, like the Juniper Grave, we've spoke about it before, like they're absolutely fucking killer. And that album launch that they did was fucking an amazing evening.
Got a cool wee video on YouTube as well that's worth checking out. If,
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a video for The Forest.
Yeah, that's the one.
which is the first track on their album, and they did their album launch.
Wasn't that Swanee that did that?
No, it wasn't Swami. I can't remember who it was.
Alan's
Was
one
it
top.
Ryan John?
Could tell you.
There's a video guy, Ryan John Amy Henderson, and he did like King Witch videos and stuff, and he's really really good. Obviously Alan Swan did certainly an Axor video. I'm not sure which other ones he's done.
Yeah.
But
You might have
he's
the
kind of
Iron
just
Autumn.
getting into it. And then video guys, there's Robbie, who's Certain Death and Exploited.
Yeah.
And he's done a bunch of music videos for a bunch of different bands.
Dog Tired.
Most recent one he did was for Billy Bio,
Yeah.
Biohazard fame.
Yeah. And he's also
because he was
working
their
on-
tour guitarist last year.
He's also working on that Dick Dynamite as well, which is like a proper full-length
Yeah,
like,
feature film.
Feature film. It's like 1980s madness, like Arnie films mixed with like madness.
It's kind of got a Kung Fury sort of like throwback, you know, that sort of like, you know, low
retro
budget.
but contemporary at the same time. Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, takes off with it and it gets something.
But it was
more.
crowdfunded, and it was like really good to see that somebody like that was putting himself out there. Something that he's not really known for doing, because as I say, being an exploiting guitarist and like Billy Bio now and stuff like that, and he's doing something that grand. I can't fucking wait, man.
Yeah, it's going to be
Trying
awesome.
to get him in here, man. It's like, Robbie, if you want to come down, you're always welcome. We'll do one on film, man. Always welcome. The seat's over there. So that's fine.
Plenty
But
of
yeah,
space.
he's been doing good, man, and as well as like the Certain Death gig with that Serbian
Meat Grinder. Man, that was a really fun gig. I really enjoyed working that show.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. I'd never heard Serbian Meat Grinder before I turned up for sound checks, and they were fucking ace, man.
Yeah. Like the fucking
Not what I would expect though. I thought they were going to be like fucking mad grindcore or something, eh?
Yeah.
But actually, like, they're kind of just like, they're really good metal with even like sort of twin harmony guitars and stuff in places, are like quite like
Yeah,
With
the
a name
party
like
metal.
that.
yeah, they are. Yeah, party metal, exactly.
Yeah.
But then the vocals are a bit more aggro
Yeah.
than you would kind of place with that.
But also the guy with the fucking mask on as the front man, I was like, Jesus, this is gonna be fucking intense. And then he's like rap
totally,
rocking at
man.
it. It was like, all right, okay. But the end was fucking brilliant. They
yeah,
brought-
with the dancing bear.
Yeah, they brought on their
totally,
mascot,
man.
which is a dancing bear, and this poor fuck, right? This place was rammed, and pits were going on, and all this sort of lot. So this poor fucker, the guy that was doing the merch, fucked off out the back, came back in a full bear costume with a scepter and a crown, and just jumps into the crowd, and then like scurries onto the stage, starts to like dab in that on stage. It's fucking.
I tell you what though, man, it was really, really awesome to see this place so packed on a fucking Wednesday night.
Yeah, bouncing like.
You know, I mean, there was like easily, I don't know, 150 folk in here.
Yeah.
It was close to capacity
Yeah.
on a Wednesday night
For something which
for
was
something that.
Something like
Out
that
of
can
the
draw
norm.
in a
Yeah,
place like this on a
exactly. It was
Wednesday night,
awesome,
you know what
and it was a really good crowd. They were right up for it, like really, really into it.
yeah, man.
Good vibes.
But as I'll keep banging on. This is the fucking venue, man. Anytime I see anything in here's fucking banging.
Well, just harping back, yourself, Girija. Well, last time I saw you guys play was in here with Greenleaf,
Yeah.
which was
That was a few years ago now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
well, that's a few years ago because I was helping out with Rob with a bit of sound. I think
It was you that put that one on, wasn't it?
you and Cameron, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
So-
what was it? Greenleaf used to be majority Dozer, and then they turned.
No, the
Greenleaf?
guitarist from Greenleaf is the guitarist in Dozer.
Right. Okay.
Greenleaf are
Basically.
like Swedish based though, like stoner,
Yeah,
rock,
like
sort
big
of
chunky fat and
like good Queens of the Stone Age.
like Duncan Mountain. Honestly, man, like I thought I had like a fucking merch problem until me and Duncan started hanging out, and he literally has every Greenleaf bit of merch that they sell,
That's
and all of
impressive.
them are fucking killer.
Well, I
as
saw that obviously they turned up with the merch. So
Yeah, there's like
I
fucking
still remember going to Desert Fest in Antwerp with Tony Martone a couple of years back, and he was dead excited about a couple of bands playing, and Greenleaf was one of them. And I was just like, nah, man, Greenleaf are shit, man. Those are better.
Them's fighting fans.
Tony's reaction would have been beautiful to that.
I just love winding them up.
poking the bit, just poking the bit.
Just a- boop, boop, boop.
Well, the other thing I was going to say to you as well is like you've been around this fucking scene for absolute donkeys.
Too fucking long.
Yeah,
man.
you've been like Tyrant Lizard Kings, and even
Tyrant
before
Lizard.
that, you were like a schlep in the bars that all the bands played in as well. So Jesus Christ, man, like you've kind of seen this up and down and everything in between. Like you've got a lot to say on this fucking.
Certainly
band.
in Edinburgh, I've seen a lot of bands come and go in Edinburgh.
And mixed up.
They
all of
always
them too.
evolve, though.
I've
Here's
mixed
the thing
them.
with
I've
Edinburgh
mixed
bands.
most of them over the years at some point or another.
Yeah, man.
So I've worked in probably most of the venues in Edinburgh at one point or another doing sound. There's been some awesome bands. You know, I remember like back in the days of Tyrant Lizard Kings, it was like I remember it just being us, Man of the Hour, Certain Death, who are still fucking going. It's mental.
Yeah.
There was like Jackie Treehorn around that time.
Fuck yeah, man.
Who were amazing. There was Blacktooth, who were awesome. That was like Gov, who's now in Runemaster. Trying to remember who else was kind of kicking it back then.
Firebrand, Super Rock.
Yeah, Firebrand were around back then.
King Witch's first incarnation.
Actually, my very first.
Zilla were still going.
Yeah,
they
Roddy
were
and
going
Matt
then.
Holland.
I mean, they're obviously still going now, and they've actually not long got a new album out, I think.
Roddy, I love you, man. Honestly, your stuff is fucking ace. So the more the better, man. Zilla are fucking shit hot, but I can understand why it takes like 15 odd years to make an album. Like life also gets in the way, but the stuff that he makes is fucking biblically horrible. So yeah, it's insane.
Talking about local scene, here's a throwback, throw some numbers and names at you. It's like one of the first gigs was at Studio 24 with Man of the Hour and Tyrant Lizard Kings on the bill, and it was just like, you know, seeing Tommy Concrete doing his thing. But you're talking about the local scene, everyone's kind of, it's evolved. These bands have now turned into these bands, you know, everybody's moved off and done into different projects.
I'll tell you what's awesome,
everyone's
man,
still
is
playing
like,
music though, that's the
I
thing.
remember when we were playing those gigs back then, you know, we would sell out the Studio 24 or whatever back then, and Dog Tired would be like first on the bill kind of thing.
That's right.
And man, Dog Tired are the fucking daddies in Edinburgh now, as far as the metal scene's concerned.
I remember
they're
last
fucking great, like they're
your
really,
like
really good.
swan song show was in here for the Tyrant Lizard Kings.
It was.
And I was in here for it, and we had to kick out the back doors because there was just so many fucking people in here, and it was just solid. It was that sort of feeling of like the community was in here for that, and you did like a Beastie Boys like swapping on instruments and stuff like that. It was just fucking about. It was like good old fashioned knees up fun. And it was that sort of thing of like, don't get me wrong, when I started like pretty much knowing you, that was at the end of that ebb. You'd already been and done and seen and stuff, and that was just the end of that. I was like, fuck, why did I know about this like 3 years prior? You know, like shit. But yeah, it's good fun, man. Like, and I'll say that like that was you, Graham.
That was me, Graham Young, and Chris Smith.
Yeah,
we're in the Tyrants. Graham Young now owns Chamber Studio.
Probably the prestige studio in Edinburgh, I'd say.
One of, for sure. Yeah,
definitely
I mean,
a place to check out.
there's a few really nice studios in Edinburgh, but Graham's is definitely one of the top three.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, like from my side of the coin, whenever I see anyone recording like the type of music that I like from Scotland, most of the time it's in there.
Yeah.
Like I'm not detracting from other styles of music, but they go see Graham quite a lot.
Yeah. But then again, that's because they know Graham's got a history.
Yeah.
You know, Graham was in the metal scene for a long time, and he might have progressed slightly, and he listens to a lot of different stuff these days, and he can work with a lot of different styles. But
he's got the chops still.
He was always a sort of alternative or metal kid, and he grew up playing drums in metal bands.
Yeah.
So he's got that kind of history, like, and he knows a lot of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people trust him.
Well,
He's done a lot of good work in the studio in the last few years, and he's put out a lot of albums that were recorded there have been put out.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I always try and say to these younger bands, that it's like it is this community. It's not just you 4 or 5 guys in a band. It is like your sound engineer, and it is the venues and the people that work there. It's like
you got to get a crew around you. You got to amass that crew. Supporters. Everybody's here. We're all local. We all know each other. We're all supporting each other.
Yeah.
You know, if I can help you try and get an extra few bodies in the door, then I'll pass out like, hey, you might be interested in this gig.
It's one really cool thing, I must admit, at this moment in time is fucking great, because there is a really, really good, vibrant sort of rock and metal scene in Edinburgh, I think, at the moment. And because a lot of people know each other, and a lot of people have gigged with each other, or they've hung out with each other, they've gone for pints, whatever, there is definitely a good sort of cooperative kind of vibe in Edinburgh at the moment, which I don't know if you get that in other cities or not, but I do remember a time when that was not the case in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going that far back.
Yeah,
I'm only going maybe 10 years or so back. And it was quite disparate. There wasn't much going on. There was some really good bands, but they weren't talking to each other. They weren't helping each other. They were doing their own thing, and it was all kind of,
scene kids floating about.
There was a few bands that would always play together.
Like, it's that sort of thing. Not now where it's like, oh, I've just gone to France. Here's the guy's number that I like, or here's the venue or that I played in, or whatever the fuck it is. You know.
Talking about bands going overseas and stuff, we just had Billy and the Disposable Boys doing their European tour and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
man.
You know.
Go on, Billy, Thrash Willy, woo! I've got to make that nickname stick if you like it or not, man. That's
Thrash Willy.
Thrash Willy.
Oh, Thrash Willy. I thought you said Fresh Willy.
Fresh. Well, it might well be fresh. I do not know.
Maybe he's had a shower today.
In West Philadelphia, born.
That is totally staying in. Fresh Prince Billy.
Fresh Billy.
Fresh Prince Billy.
Where's he live? Where's he from?
Get that on a patch or something.
Fresh Prince of Salton or something.
Chris Bobag. Like, well, as he's lovingly referred to as, but like same again with him, that he also does like artwork now. He's done like poster bills and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, man,
he's played in Lords of Bastard as well.
He's done really well, like with his graphic design stuff. You know, I mean, he's done stuff for like Ufu Mammoth.
Yeah.
He's done stuff for Swans. He's done stuff for.
That Swans design was killer.
What was the other one? There's been a few. I can't remember them all now, but check out Disco Beast. Basically, Disco Beast on Instagram, and you'll find Chris and his artwork, and it's really cool. He's definitely got his thing.
Yeah.
Like
his style.
His style is it's very, very obvious and very him, I think.
Well, if you want, your closest port of reference to his artwork is the Wall of Sound graphic, the logo, the neon one, the like bright green fella. He made it. So like if you people out there want to see a sample of his workings, that's probably your closest reference if you're watching this shit right now. And then I'll put a link in the description and you can go and have a wee look. But yeah, like he's fucking cracking it out now, man.
Yeah, man.
He's done like even kind of like design and layouts for like tattoo books and stuff like that. So
yeah, he's done design layouts for tattoo books. He's done logos for local venues. He's done artwork for touring bands. He's done album covers, like whatever.
But it goes to show that even though he's not still playing the bass, or
in fact, he did the cover for Girija's second album, Leatherhead.
Really?
So, yeah.
I did not know
Which is the sort of Iron Cross with the panther head thing.
Yeah.
Well, that was Chris, like, it was
I
awesome.
didn't know that.
It was fucking great.
Yeah.
Just to throw out there though, speaking of Wall of Sound, Tennant Street, talking about studios, I mean, you've got your own little thing going on down there. I mean, just to throw out there, maybe you're too humble to speak about yourself, so I'll fucking throw out there. How did this all come about? How did you get the setup? How's the studio came about? And obviously, how did you get in touch and do this whole Wall of Sound thing with Bailey?
The studio kind of started basically by it was Ali Lauder of Inspire and Throne.
Can I just time out there? We love you, Ali. You sent me a message the other day, and we all love you. All of us love you from Scotland, okay? Carry on.
It was Ali Lauder of Spire and Throne, Ewan Cameron of Atragon and Piss Christ Promotions, and myself decided to take over a studio down in Leith that the place was pretty much on the verge of getting shut down. And we took it on, and I've done a load of work in the place, soundproofing it and speaking to the neighbours to keep them sweet and all the rest of it, just to keep the place open. But
yeah, it's like
we basically got a bunch of bands in who wanted their own personal rehearsal space.
Yeah, just a safe space to let their shit down there.
They can store their gear, they can practice whenever they want, kind of thing. And it's worked out really well. It's been really, really good. There's been some bands that are in there from day one.
Which is
there's been a few bands come and go, obviously, as kind of happens.
But it's literally
and for me, it gave me a place that I could go and then record bands.
Yeah.
Which is what I love to do. It's kind of it's kind of great having that sort of community vibe, as you were saying earlier, that kind of community vibe. And I think we've got maybe 15 bands or so down there, and everyone gets on, everyone helps each other out, and everyone sort of does bits and bobs where they can to help everybody.
It's hard enough in this industry to make it without like stepping on other people. So it's always good to sort of do a bit.
Yeah, man. There's no point in fucking pissing on someone else's chips, like. Do you know what I mean?
Man.
Just be cool and help each other out.
But also as well that like the 15, 16-ish bands that are down there are all killers. Like that's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
and they're all metal. Like, there's
the
no
jazz drummer
like.
down there and stuff like that. But like,
well, yeah, I mean, Rich has got his little room and he comes and practices, fucking 30 hours a week or whatever it is he does. I don't know.
He is honestly possessed. Every time I'm down there, it's just.
Who's this guy? Oh, is he just a drummer?
Just a jazz drummer.
It's a jazz drummer, and he just comes down and just like practices his stuff,
The most ridiculous shit you've ever heard.
It's intense, man. He's a ridiculous player. He does all these mad polyrhythms and just like.
But you can actually I've never seen him in the flesh. But as I say, you can hear him work through things. So it's like all right, and then work it back up, and it's like and then it's just like he'll speed up, slow it down, and then throw in something else.
He's not the guy that plays with Ant Law.
Yeah, Trio HLK.
That's the one.
Yeah, man.
Ant Law was my guitar tutor. Right, cool.
Okay, cool.
So it's all gone full circle now. So here we go. Community fucking spirit, man.
What I wanted to ask was, who are the bands that then, I guess, record down there and practice? I mean, you don't have to name all 16, but if you can, that'd also be nice.
I mean, there's a bunch of bands down there. For example, like June practice down there. June Brave.
You guys,
Girija, when we can be arsed.
You're and Har.
You're Sapien are down there, Goddamn Brewery are down there, Iron Altar are down there, Wolf Sermon are down there.
It's a fucking dream team.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking really cool bands.
Sorry, the other 5 guys.
They don't all record with me.
Right.
In all fairness, do you know what I mean? And
it's just a space for them to go and.
It's a space for them to rehearse.
And like, how much does it cost then? Like, what are prices?
It all depends. That's really.
Pretty much for a band to have their own space to rehearse for a month is like 150 quid.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
When you think about other rehearsal studios who are charging hourly, you're like a 3-hour rehearsal is 30 quid.
Yep, 10 hour an hour.
Standard. Or that's kind of standard. Yeah, some places are a little bit more, some places are a little bit less, but that's kind of that's kind of standard. And you have to use kind of whatever the hell they've got in the rooms. Yeah. Like amp wise, drums wise, whatever. Whereas down at our place, you have your own gear. Yeah. It's your own shit, and you can kind of leave everything set up. It's a secure space to store your shit, so you don't have to keep it in your flat. But also, and then it's not that much more, really. Yeah. For bands who are wanting to practice two times a week. For example, like that's 60 quid a week. Yeah. 4 weeks a month. Yeah.
Plus you offer recording, even just like a live demo thing, and the stuff that you guys are doing with the Wall of Sound live video sessions, which are worth checking out.
Yeah, that was like a whole weird thing that just came out of a few pub conversations, really. Well, this whole Scapegoat thing kind of came out of a few pub conversations. But
the video, those pub conversations that turned into interviews that then turned into...
and now we're pretty much filming the pub conversations, so it's gone full fucking circle. Cheers. But literally back in them days, I just started maybe a few months into doing interviews, hadn't I? Something like that. And then I was trying to...
it was a couple of months. You'd done maybe 3 or 4 interviews. I can't remember what the early ones were now, to be honest.
Because, back in the day I did Wind Hand, and then I did pretty much all of the Tennant Street bands. So King Witch at the time. Pardon me. Were they down there?
No, King Witch had never
King Witch hadn't, but
they
always
had their own space.
And then King Witch turned up, so I interviewed them both on the same day, and then I was saying just more...
Jack and Billy from Disposable.
Yeah, Jack and Billy, then we did the Endless Guys, so I think I did 10 or so and then dropped them all at the same time, just to be Scapegoat is now a thing.
It's kind of been the catalyst for a lot of people talking to each other more, though. Just to you got me talking to, you got me in on the Endless sessions. Endless Swarm was fucking awesome, worth checking out. Yeah. And then Endless get in touch with me, and then I'm working with Endless and Dave Taylor as well, and work. So it's just making these connections.
The
and
little
people
black book or the telephone is only numbers. It only matters down to you guys if you then collaborate after that. You know,
like
like
the legwork.
yeah, like, and don't get me wrong, I've asked probably all three of you guys around this table to say that like, oh, I don't know this guy, can you help us out? Can you like get us together in a group chat or something? And it is just as simple as that. Then after that, it's really then down to whoever the other two are.
I mean, we're all open to helping people out in the scene and stuff. Just don't expect us to do things for you.
But
if you do something that I can help you with, your thing. Don't expect me to do your thing for you.
But we had this conversation that like the interviews, they went out, and don't get me wrong, some of them did really well, and some of them got lost in the shuffle, and nobody really watched them. And then the kind of light bulb moment was that some of these underground bands, nobody understands what music they play. It might be too obscure, or we know them but other folk don't, or whatever the fuck it was. Pub conversation not too far after the interviews was Stu in the pub, and he was thinking about doing something similar to like promote his wares, because you've worked with like Conan, that's also had a live press that came from here. We've worked with like, God man, as I say, like literally every band in Edinburgh for sure you've definitely mixed. You've got a couple which have then pressed as well on top of that.
For me, it was kind of a recording bands. I always like to get things as live as possible. Because I'm not a big fan of like people that go into a studio and they record the drums, and then they record the bass, and then they record the guitars, and then they record the keys, and then they record the vocals, and all these people come in separately and they do their own little bit, and it's
fragmented.
It's very disconnected, and it's not like a real band. Do you know what I mean? You go back to fucking Morehead or Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath recording their albums. It was all live
in a room.
You know what I mean? Or pretty much. They might have overdubbed the vocals. But you know, for the most part, they recorded everything live, and it was three guys like eye contact and like locked in together as a unit. And I just think there's a lot more vibe to recordings like that. Which is where I kind of wanted to get bands represented in that way. Because bands are really good live. And everyone likes to go to a live show. Do you know what I mean? And the vibe is always different. And how many gigs have you been to where you've heard the record and then you turn up and it's like it's a totally different feel. And you're like, man, what happened? How did you lose this? Like this awesome thing that you're doing on stage, how did you lose that when you went and recorded in the studio? Like what happened? You know?
It got defanged
I wanted to try and avoid that with the stuff I was doing. And I really wanted to see bands represented best as they are live. And I remember speaking to you about it, and we were just like, well,
that's literally the number one thing.
You had like a couple of fucking cheap GoPro cameras. And you just like, well, why did we film a gig, or why did we?
How the fuck
why
we make this
did we
work?
just like film a band in a room?
And
I was like, well, let's do it in the studio, because then you know you've got control over the sound aspect of it, and you can get like you can get the sound quality, you know, as good as it can be, basically, rather than a live setting where things can go wrong, and you know you've got the pressure of having, you know, a couple of hundred punters in, where you know you're not focusing on the recording, you're focusing on what the audience are getting.
Performance, as it were.
You kind of take that side away from it, and then you can focus on the audio side. So you get the performance part where the guys are in a room together, they're playing, they're enjoying each other's company, they're actually locked in as a unit. But you also get the good quality sound.
Because I will actually put out there that like all of this is made happen by like these engineers which are sitting around me, because I can film a lot of the stuff, but the thing is, if there's shit audio, none of you guys would watch it. So that's the point, that like, again, I'm doing one side of it where these guys are doing the other, and I can't help but promote them because they are doing such a shit hot job. And as I say, the bands that then come in that we get to then work with, because again, we've done 10 of them now, and me and you have done a couple, like Echoes from the Crypt, and it's everything from like grindcore to doom to sludge to fucking like weird punk stuff, and it's like it shows that you're not pigeonholed into one thing, and you can also make it all sound good. And that's a talent. And considering that there's a lot of the DIY aspect nowadays, there are people that are specialists in one genres, but in comparison to what I think you guys are, which are like career engineers, you're not just a guy that does it in your bedroom, if you get what I'm saying. There is a different level of chops to what you guys do, and I think that is what I was trying to represent with the studio sessions, because the amount of fucking gigs that I've gone to, and whoever it is sitting at the board, whichever venue it is, that's then the ghost member of the band. Is there a lighting technician? Well, that's another ghost on top. Then there's the booker, promoter, venue guy, all that. Like, so the band gets bigger every single time, and most of the time you guys get kind of left out. Like, I'm the motherfucker that looks at the back of the LP and reads that shit, but not everybody does, you know.
But that's the other side of it. There's not, there's not that many like physical sales anymore. I do remember like going, you go to the record shop. When you're fucking 14, 15, 16, whatever, you like save up your lunch money from school, you bunk off and go and buy this brand new album that you really want. You shove it in your Walkman with your crap headphones, walking back to your house.
Either with elation or hatred of what you just bought.
And you're listening to this new record, and as you're walking down the street, you fold out the inlay and you start reading it all. And like you read the lyrics and you read the credits. And then you get to the point where the band members, and then it's like recorded in this studio, mixed by this guy, mastered by this guy, additional engineering, blah blah blah, and all these guys are listed. And I used to love reading that stuff as a kid. I used to love reading all those bits and pieces and all that detail. Whereas now everything just goes on Bandcamp. Or it goes on Spotify, or it goes on iTunes, and then it's just out there, and that's it. And the people who've actually put the time and effort into these albums, and loads, like weeks, months of time and effort and love have gone into these records, and it's just ignored. It's completely ignored.
It's just something that's
because it's just
the
there.
It's just downloaded as a JPEG.
It's
like that you can use as your background or your screensaver.
Did you guys ever watch that DVD that I guess came with the Roadrunner United CD? Like this was like way back when. Like I remember like going into the CD shop and it's like looking for some fucking metal and saw this one. It's like Roadrunner United. That was great. I think that's the fucking label that Slipknot's on. Listen to it and it's like comes with a DVD. I was like sick, and when I like watched it and it was just like all the recording of like all the songs and stuff, and you could see like the behind the scenes stuff.
Dream Team one?
Yeah, it was all the people from Roadrunner.
Four captains of Joey Jordison, I think, was one of them. Dino Cazares, and who gives a fuck?
And like that kind of got me into
Porn King Dino Cazares.
And that kind of got me into like the behind the scenes stuff, where I was like,
totally, man.
This is like super fucking interesting, man. And like I'd never seen what it was like to record stuff. And I think it was maybe because of that, like I did like a 6-month course when I was 17 in like music production. Obviously, none of that has been retained over like fucking 13 years or some shit. But like, I remember looking at that and going, man, that's fucking dope. That's so cool. Like that guy who's just sitting there controlling almost everything, going like, okay, look, I need you in there now, and let's change the sound over here. Like that was such a cool thing to see, and it's not just a band.
One of my most poignant moments, which have stuck with me forever, but before internet and DVDs and all that lot, there was a VHS tape called "Drilling Another Vein." And
man.
Yeah. Old school.
That's real old school.
I cannot remember for the life of me what the label, who actually promoted this thing was, but it had like Typo Negative, and then you had Black Number One, and then you had like Biohazard on it, Fear Factory, Machine Head, just like all these kind of like.
It was like a video.
Yeah, early '90s VHS, but it was like.
I'm pretty sure it was Roadrunner Records.
Was it Roadrunner?
I'm sure it was Roadrunner Records, and I'm sure it was just like basically a promo video of all the bands that they had on their roster.
Yeah, but for trailers, right? And the one that stood out to me by far, and I've spoke about this before, but the Biohazard one, it was half shot at a gig and half shot in the studio.
Right.
And obviously the gig is just like a hardcore show, so folk fucking flying everywhere. And it cuts to this like white room. And then there's obviously like the 4 or 5 guys that are actually playing the music, but then they had like 10 guys. And there's obviously like the shot of the guy on the knobs and faders and all that sort of like the engineer. But I was like, who the fuck are them 9 other guys?
Yes, the crew.
Who the fuck are they? And I was like, well, obviously there's more to it than just the band. And that's where the wheels started turning, because I am genuinely musically retarded. I've tried and I've failed, but also there's more things to a band than just the music. There's also different ways to hell.
It's the same as when you watch like the Morehead 30th anniversary DVD.
Yeah.
Like, they've got like Stage Fright, which is the live DVD for the 30th anniversary, I mean, the live part's awesome, which is disc 1
Yeah.
on the DVD, and that's fucking brilliant, like 2-hour set or whatever it is.
Just going mad.
And it's amazing. But then disc 2 is like all interviews. So there's interviews with the band themselves, but then they interview all the crew. So like the guitar techs, the monitor engineer.
I always watch that.
They interview
the extras.
you know, the cook, the driver. Like literally. I mean, everyone gets a moment.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's quite a few guys from Scotland on their crew. Like the monitor engineers from Dundee. They're
But Motorhead fans are Motorhead fans till they die.
The cook drinks in the fucking Jingling Geordie.
Does he? Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's quite funny just like watching the interviews with the crew. And like because they give you a totally different perspective on the entire situation.
Yeah. Living with the sex, drugs, and rock and roll that's over there, and you're still making the soup. It's like,
I love the cook at one point, and he sat there and he's just like, you know, I'm making fucking sandwiches at 2 a.m. on like the edge of a flight case. Can I chat? Do you know what I mean? While
It'd be interesting
like,
to hear him say like, so actually Lemmy liked the crusts cut off or something. That would be like an interesting tidbit where you go,
only diagonal cuts.
diagonal
sideways cuts.
None of that shit.
He does kind of cover like your favourite foods and that, and it's quite funny. Like, but it's just interesting, I think, to see like that side of it.
Yeah.
You know.
But this was another thing that like when we had these initial conversations before like Scapegoat was actually a thing, that like that was mostly the stuff that I was watching. Another like there's all these documentaries about like Black Flag back in the day and like New York hardcore scenes and all this lot, and after a while the penny had dropped that if you think about it, back in the 80s there was a guy that was watching something that nobody gave a shit about with a camera that was shit, taking pictures that he didn't really know how to take. But then there's a guy, being me, like 30, 40 years later, looking at them being like, fuck man, I really wish I was there. Like, dude, what I would have given to taking that photo or whatever it is, to get that little morsel back. And what you were saying beforehand, that like these bands right now are killing it. And it's right now, I think, in the upswell, so we've got to keep on pushing to keep the swell going. So, yeah, as I say, even though I'm not a musician myself, I still want to, as I say, represent these bands with the help of you guys, to make it as good and as clean as possible, because some of them sessions have been fucking tasty.
Some of the sessions have been amazing, man. And I must admit, there's nothing more frustrating than going to see a gig, a band you've been really looking forward to. Like, do you know what I mean? You've had the ticket for fucking months, and you're like, yes, it's gonna be fucking awesome. And then you turn up and the sound is just really shit, and it just totally lets the whole thing down, and you can see the band are going for it. Like, I mean, you can see them, they're doing it, they're going for it, fucking hell for leather. But out front where we are as the audience, it just
doesn't represent.
You know, it just sounds really flat, or there's, you know,
to so many festivals was falling like that as well.
It's frustrating, man. And I mean,
download. So many bands come out and they're like, that sounds nasty, and that. And you're trying to make excuses, or maybe they're caught in a wind swirl, or it's just like the scale. But
I think that's getting better though. But I also think the era of the Gigantor festival is now pretty much done. Like, because even in the way that like
I mean, the likes of Vakin and Hellfest,
they'll still
like,
be there, but
you know, the really big fucking festivals, they're still going to go, and they're still going to rock it for a good few years, I reckon. I mean, Download still seems to do well every year, despite never ever having a good bill.
That's what I was going to say, man. They're limping in at the back. Like,
people will be like, I'm going to Download. Good luck. I'd rather just go to a good festival.
70 bands, but 5 that
enjoy kissing your $5,000 goodbye for a washout watching shit bands. Like,
but,
fucking good luck.
They must be making money because it comes back every year.
But I think that's more like the same again. I think that the Donington model, if you want to call it, is the same as the Warped Tour model, which is that they've just got a whole bunch of record labels that have backed them, and that's just part of a traveling
whatever the label has lit out.
It's not like Roadburn or, as I say, like a Brutal Assault or something like that. They must obviously have to book through the same labels to get a stable of bands in, but just the variety that you're getting of these smaller like, as I say, venue festivals instead of them being the big outdoor ones. So folk, as I say, now just go buy the Metal Hammer. Literally every band in the Metal Hammer will be at Donington.
It's that summer festival tour. Sick.
Yeah, it's like they've got the promotion to try and push that as like, this is the new hot band. Well, are they? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing: is like for about 10 years, I did Download Festival. Every year, I was like, people go off to fucking holidays to fucking sit on a sunny beach. No, I went to some shitty, pissy field in Derby and go and watch some awesome bands and enjoy a moment. But after a while, it's like, I've seen all these bands now. What's new? And then you realise that, it's all run by the same corporations, whatever you want to call it. So that's where Bloodstock came into effect. It was like, Bloodstock was, it's a more of a European style of metal festival based in Britain, as opposed to where I feel that Download tries to just pander to the latest trend, as we're all saying. You know what I mean? Whereas it's like, people want to see this band or people want to see that band, Emperor or whatever, then Bloodstock will book Emperor as a headliner one year. And it's like, wow, Emperor haven't played in fucking like 10 years and they've never been in Britain, or they just played one off place in London. And that's what I hate about Britain, is the fact that if you want to see a band, especially a rare European band, you have to go to London.
But then you get the other side of the coin, where in the last few years, I think, there's been quite a few cool things happening up here. And there's been, it's not particularly like my thing, admittedly, it's, but like Lords of the Land Festival in Glasgow, they've had some fucking wicked bands on.
Saul was telling me about that because he was doing the audio for that.
Then there's like North of the Wall Festival, which is also in Glasgow.
Promotions, good lad.
I was there last year.
And it's again a lot of the bands that are playing aren't necessarily my
ilk.
My favourite thing. Yeah, exactly. Not my cup of tea, but it's still really cool to see these extreme bands coming to Scotland and playing these shows and getting the reception that they're getting. And it's really good to see people actually going out their way and putting on these gigs, because it proves there is an audience here for it.
Oh hell yeah!
But you don't need to go to London to see these bands.
We were talking about loads of
these guys can quite happily come and play in Edinburgh or Glasgow, or even probably even further north. Do you know what I mean? Like Aberdeen's got a fairly decent music scene. Like, I'm sure there's decent venues in Dundee and Inverness as well.
There's
not
big enough venues everywhere.
But
that's the thing. There's big venues everywhere in the UK. There are a couple of thousand. So
big wee tunes. That's
big,
the thing.
Big wee tunes. Yeah.
This is big wee tunes. That's all that Scotland is just big wee tunes. It's like a town that's surrounded by 20 other tunes, but there's probably like about 100 like AC/DC fans within the whole lot of them, so you can put on a decent rock gig type scenario, just to fucking throw that out there.
Alright, so I think we're just going to wrap this up then. We've kind of mattered over a few bits and bobs and acclimatised everyone, and also it's kind of been weird because it's been the first time that me and him have been on camera together, so it's kind of weird. So yeah, it's been like nearly 2 years in the coming, so there you go. So yeah, let's start at that end of the table and work our way around. What's going on then?
Well, Visara are playing Scapegoat's first gig with Mr. Marquet. That's on June 9th, so
June
please
9th,
come and check it out.
7 o'clock, $7, 4 bands.
Done.
But yeah, apart from that,
Be there,
writing
Square.
and mixing and working here with some awesome bands. In fact, I'm working here tonight, so...
Yeah, you're doing last night as well, so you're getting pretty fucking busy.
Yep.
The lead up to the summertime is going to be chaotic for the pair of you fucking too, being engineers and stuff. Nah, you don't give two fucks. It's money for you, so you don't care.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff coming up, but it's mostly just like
events and stuff.
Regular work.
Yeah.
Daytime.
Which is
daytime
events
workers.
work as well.
Which is events, I work in events. And it kind of pays the bills. It means I can do the fun stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
What kind of events? Just out of interest.
Everything. I do conferences like corporate stuff. I'll do awards shows.
But you've also done like that hidden forest fucking
Words in the Enchanted Forest.
That's the one.
Leaf Festival you do, but that's...
I've never done Leaf Festival or Hidden Door, no. But I do folky festivals like Gig in the Goyle and
literally
doing the Meadows Festival this weekend.
This guy's on the faders.
I do lots of stuff and I get about. And I'm working on my own a new band, which hopefully everyone will hear something from soon.
Yeah. When you stop play well. But you weren't like playing for a bit. Garida's still playing, but you weren't playing as much, and I thought it was a great fucking shame. And I have told you this before.
It was a great shame. I mean, we started jamming with my mate Simon last year, and my buddy Colin, and we've kind of got some stuff going on, but then it all got put on hold because Simon had a wrist injury, and then I got fucking wiped out by a van.
Yeah, that was scary.
In January, and you know, it's only been the last month or so that I've been kind of physically fit enough to kind of start doing stuff again.
Get back on the horse.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as I say, I'm over the fucking moon that you're actually playing a bit more regularly, because it's like, as I say, your lineage from like Tyrants through fucking all the bands and all the different stuff. If you're like, I only play once a year now, it's like, oh man, that's a fucking shame. So I'm glad that you're back at it, at least jangling to some degree. So
I'm always,
make you blush.
I'm always jangling like.
Only jangling like, man. Only. Are you fucking jangling on anything? Are you fucking?
I'm not jangling on much other than your gig. I'll hopefully be there doing things, helping out. I mean, I'll still pay to get in if you don't need me to help out. I'll throw money to you.
Just fuck off, Bailey.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
But yeah, basically just your gig, and then, I mean, I can't think of any other. I mean, gigs that are coming up that I'll be going to.
Well, there's the Thou, Moloch, and Endless Swarm gig, We Red Bar.
July, yeah. There's the Yawning Man gig that's coming up, and Bacchus Baracus are supporting, who I don't think I've ever seen before.
They did a
They're
session
good, man.
with us.
Yeah, they're good lads.
Yeah,
really good live band.
So that I think is on the 19th of June. Mm-hmm. It's in my little book of days that I don't want to be at work.
As I say, I'm ultra turgid for Earth playing at Summer Hall in August. That's pretty much hallmarked as like the one that I cannot wait for.
And it's not even that expensive either. I think it's less than 20 quid maybe.
I think it is on 20 quid. It might be 22 with booking.
22 with booking. That's still fucking cheap as chips, man.
But yeah, it's going to be an absolute fucking doozy there. As I say, I've got my own gig that's going on, and I'm still trying to book this one for the anniversary show in November, but that's fucking ages away, so you don't need to worry about that. That's bullshit. But yeah, apart from that, it's just the usual stuff. If you want to get in contact with any of us, do anything. Also, like to record shit and make your band sound good. Either way, like Tennant Street, Broken Drum, like whatever it is, let these guys know. But apart from that, yeah, just go see some shows and listen to some music, and hopefully we've got something to talk about next week. Should have Tommy Concrete on.
Yeah, man.
How exciting.
Tommy boy! Right. Have a good one. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Cheers.